Yes, Nagini, I think there are some questions also people have added with the queue.
Correct.
So join in late. Any questions, you can put it in the chat window. Just mark queue before that. So Nagini can respond to it. And Nagini, you want to respond after the break?
I think most of these will be answered in the break, after the break.
Yeah, so let them put the questions and then we take a break right now for 10 minutes. And once you are back, we'll start again.
Sure, sure. 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manoj.
We will definitely get back to you. Secondly, there are some members who have attended today's webinar who are not members of Mumbai chapter, or so would request all of you all to become members of Mumbai chapter. The attendance is electronic, so as soon as we finish the session, there will be a feedback form sent to all of you all, which you need to respond electronically. And after that, the PDF mail will be sent to everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Manoj. So, I see a lot of questions already posted in. Good. So, let me continue this with screen sharing again. Okay, so we are good to start from here. So this chart is just a representation of some private survey which has been done by KPMG. We will talk about some questions which I have already got on this chart itself. Okay. So the important part which I wanted to share with all of you as agile coach and an experience which I have got using these assessments is there are a lot of assessments out there to just see how intelligent you are on your emotions. One I always prefer to use, very easiest way to do is this one, which is called as a Johari window. If you have come across this tool, Johari, Johari window. What happened is, like, there are two psychologists by the name Joseph Luff and Harrington Inga. These people in 1955 come out with this kind of a test, which it is a technique to help people better understand their relationships with themselves and with others. They were using it for non-profit organizations, people who are working in healthcare or public service kind of jobs, and it is used for heuristics exercises where people can understand each other. They have come up with this assessment where they have four kind of, Johari window is nothing but that old time windows of kingdoms, I mean palaces, where queens or they can see everybody, but they cannot be seen by anybody. That was kind of that parda scenes which were having in the olden times. So these people have taken this four quadrants as each window, and they have named them as four types of windows. And basically, it is like self-awareness and mutual understanding are the basis of these four windows. What they have done is they have taken an open self, one window. There, if this window is only going to show you the information about you that both you and other people who are working with you know about it. So known to others, known to self is this window's significance. And there is one more in the awareness point, which is hidden self. This window, whatever falls here, is information about you that you know but others don't know. So unknown to others, but it is hidden in yourself. Like sometimes you may not want to share your real emotions because of some past experiences, or some kind of uh, reactions you had with those emotions. So you will hide something. You are not the same self when you are at home and when you are in office. So that is called as a hidden self. The next two windows are going to be about mutual understanding. Why is this window significant? Is because this information about you that you don't know but others do know about you. You are not aware of that you are of that kind of a person, but people know that they perceive you like that. That is the importance of a blind self. You may not wantedly be doing that, but people perceive you that way. That is called as blind self. Unknown self is where you don't have the information about that, neither you nor about nor the people around you know about it. That is something which is a black hole, or you don't even know that this exists in you. Sometimes situationally you will react like that. Amygdala hijacks may happen, and that is that fourth window. So Johari window is something which you can use when you are doing the team formation stages. How would you use this? So this there is a survey link which anybody can access, and what you can do is you can ask each of the team member to take it for themselves. So it has some random attributes about the behavior of a person, like assertive, interactive, all these things come up in that
Just a minute, Nagini. I don't know why you got muted.
sorry, I don't know why I have got unmuted. Manoj, you have to tell me if you didn't like the session. You can't do this.
No, I didn't do that.
Okay. So what we do in I do as a practice is when I am doing an agile team formation, I ask the people to take the survey for themselves. And what I do is I ask them to give this same survey to all the other team members whom they are going to work with on the same team for some time. So what happens is when you evaluate yourself, you will get your open self and also sometimes your hidden self. Like people don't know that you are of that type, but you know that it is you are that kind of a person. The one thing which I have seen in this Johari window is you have to take the most relevant 5 behaviors of oneself. You can't go beyond that. So you have to, when you see those attributes in that window, you have to take up the top 5 which suits you, or people have to take those top 5 which they feel like you are of that person, of that kind of a person. So they have to be very very selective, because there are like 60 or 40 attributes which will pop up, and you have to be so good in judging yourself about the top 5. There is only 5 as a limitation in that choice. So when you take yourself as one of the survey, and for yourself, you will get your open self and hidden self, which is shown to others. And when people take a survey on you, this has to be mutual. Everybody has to take survey on every other person in the team. Then you will find some blind self that people pursue you like that, but you are not like that. So when this survey has completed, you can share your survey and compare it with the people's tally of what you are perceived as. I have seen most of the times, maximum 2 to 3 attributes only match. There are two uh, attributes which are very surprising to yourself that people pursue you in that way. So what will you do with this exercise? When you are doing this exercise, you are seeing that you are of this type of a person, but people are pursuing you in a different way. So for me, I'll take my example. What happened is I felt I'm an introvert and I have given myself as an introvert, but people pursued me as an extrovert. So I was like shocked. What is this? People are telling me that I'm an extrovert, but I felt like I'm an introvert. So there are some surprises like this which come up. What will we do as a coach here is like, people who have to be in a team, collaborating and being trusting each other and open. They have some things which are contradicting to how they have to work as an agile team. We help them to coach better on how to overcome their behaviors which stop them from becoming high performers. So that is the help of having an EI assessment. And I don't have a kind of a measure like, this is how you are going to be high in EQ or IQ. There will be a lot of other tests where you can only get your EQ, not about your attributes. EQ is emotional quotient, which shows your percentage of your EQ. But that is not useful for me because I don't know what that EQ high level is going to um, convert it into a behavior. So I follow this where I know that people have this kind of behavior and I can train them or coach them by using some psychometric tools to make them more open, to make them trust each other, or to make them more collaborative. I usually find this as a very useful tool because whenever you form agile teams, there are always seniors who come with their baggage of seniority and they always have the fear of losing control when they are put into the agile teams. So as a coach, that's the first challenge which we have to come up with. And we have to curb them from getting into the commanding mode and making them, feel as first among the equals. So this way, I have used this Zohari window to assess the teams when they are forming. Again, once the team have started sprinting and after 5 or 6 sprints are at the time of a first release, I always again take this test and see how they are different today. So that way, what happens is we can see an improvement on how they are behaving when the team is going into a ceremony of, say, daily scrum, refinement, review, or even a retro. So these are the things which help you to assess the improvements of EQ levels of the team. Nothing like a specific metric, but the behavior only speaks about the improvements you see. One caution here is just be aware people are very smart, so just be cautious that they are not using it for the for harming others emotions. Just have a check as an agile coach. So what happened here again? There is one more assessment which I would like to talk to you about, called as a DISC analysis. While the screen is coming up, I will just give you the background of that. This is a personality test which you can take. Sorry about screen. So this what happens because of that is like the DISC analysis is about the personality of a person. It determines the type of the person you are. Like, there are 4 quadrants which it is, I will show you just now. So you have a dominance, influential, as well as compliance and um, sorry, yeah, I'm just trying to come out of that screen. I don't know what is this behavior of my system today. Yeah. So when it comes to the DISC analysis, it's a type of personality which you wanted to actually test, and this personality profile is going to actually help people to understand whether their current role is going to be a fit to their personality, or where they have to change. So if you see the DISC analysis, a person who is dominant will have an outgoing task-oriented personality, and they have this primary traits of being dominant, direct, demanding, decisive, determined, and a doer. Where do you find these kind of roles? Outgoing and task-oriented. Most of the times, these are people who are kind of individual contributors who have command and control positions, like in executives or even in the armed forces and all. This is the person who is going to be like that. And outgoing, people oriented is a personality where influencing is the uh, trait you see. These people are inspiring, influencing, inducing, interactive, impressive, and interested in people. These are the people whom we see mostly in the leadership roles. There is another quadrant called as ES, which is for steadiness. This is for people who are reserved, but they are people oriented. These are supportive, steady, stable, sensitive, status quo, and specialist. These are all most of these people we see in kind of expert roles, domain experts and other people who are really into their specialty. They take a pride in being that specialist, and they maintain a status quo, and they are sensitive to what is happening around. They are stable, they don't get hyper very quickly. They steadily take the situation at hand and give you support. People who are more into this kind of people oriented roles, but they are reserved, they are like, they work in silos, they don't want to have command and control. Architects and experts, all of them fall into this kind of mostly this kind of window, this personality trait. Then you are having your compliance people. These people have reserved and task oriented. Most of the things where you have risk command and control, and you also have your audits in the office, compliance, all this comes into this kind of. I don't say that person has to be like that. These roles are like that. So they are cautious, calculative, competent, compliant, contemplative, and careful. So if you take this kind of a test, what happens? You understand your disc type and the personality profile very quickly. And if you want to be in that kind of a role, then you can adjust your type of personality and then quickly change your attitude towards the role you are playing. Or you know what your type of personality, and then you can choose your roles. If it is not too late, you can change your tracks. Um, if I have to say about myself, when I have taken this personality test, I have got myself as a socially oriented person. And I have got the result as, like, I have a strong self motivation to get to know people in all walks of life, and also kind of nurture those relationships. And I also got that, I have a natural enthusiasm for all types of ideas and, projects. Uh, it may be my own project or the project of others. So people are likely to describe me as a gregarious, persuading, and optimistic person. That is what I have got when I went through the DISC analysis. So when I went for the Johari window, I have got that I'm assertive, self-confident, extrovert, outgoing, and helpful. So these were the contribution, the attributes I have got. When I did Johari window, I got myself as an introvert. So I was like, what? People are thinking that I am an extrovert, but I feel I am an introvert. So what happened? When I have taken the Johari window 10 years back, I was an introvert. Even people were thinking that I'm an introvert. But just trying to be, coming out of that because of the role I play in the company, I made myself, or I trained myself, or managed my emotions, and now I have become an extrovert. So that is what I just wanted to share with all of you. And thank you for listening. I think now I have the time for the question and answers. Hope the session was useful. Let me go back to the chat window and start the question and answers. Manoj, how you want to take it? You want to just read the question for myself and give the answer?
Yes,
Is it okay?
Nagini, that will be better, because otherwise if I unmute everyone, it will be utter chaos.
Yes. Okay. So
those who want, they can still start putting the question. Those who not put the question, start putting the questions, and you can go through the chat, Nagini, and start responding.
Sure, sure. So I see there is a question from Rakesh Chandra Goyal. A coach is first a counselor or a mentor. First of all, to become a coach, you have to be self-aware of yourself. Where is your strength and where is your weakness? How you can help the other persons with your strengths and how you can overcome your weakness. For you to become a coach, you have to be an all-rounder. I won't say you're a counselor first or a mentor first. Depending on the situation, you have to be having a trade-off between what hat you want to wear. Hope that has answered the question. So what about motivation as one more dimension from the model from EI Guru Daniel Goleman? Yes, emotional intelligence and motivation are both from his armor only. That's also another way, because people highly emotional will be self-motivated is what he says. Sharad. Is it same as a first flight and or fight reaction? Yes, amygdala hijack. Because of that, you always be in the fight or flight mode. That is a reaction you have because of amygdala hijack. Then I have Kautal. Why is emotional quotient not featured in while recruiting? I won't say that is true, Kaushal. Some companies, in fact, for the roles, they want people to be highly emotionally intelligent. They give this psychometric analysis as one part of recruiting process. You have that in some of the roles, and some organizations deliberately follow that. I have also given myself as a, when I was recruited in Bank of America, I was given this psychometric analysis for selection, because I am an agile coach here. Then I have a question from Manish Mohandas. Is there a scientific way to assess the EQ of an individual, team, or a department? Yes, that is what we have discussed as an assessment. These are not the only two assessments. You have MBIT, you have a lot of other personality tests which you can take. Even EQ test also can be taken. Then Rohan Mistry, is there any metric to measure EI impact on sprint velocity? I don't see that as a metric, but because of people being collaborative, understanding, open, and Rakesh Chandra Goel, does use of environment of the affect one's emotions? Okay. See, is being emotionally involvement with the team good? That is what I said, sir. As a quotient, I mean, as a person, you have to be a little cautious to use it for the good of the team, not for misusing somebody's emotions and playing with them. So with that said, there is always a possibility that some people may tweak it for their advantage, but be cautious when you are sharing your emotional quotient with others. You are also exposing your behavior or your kind of emotions with others. So there has to be a caution when you have to understand when somebody is playing on your emotions. That is always there as a double-edged sword. So EI mean to be really able to be part of your team. Yes, I always prefer to have this as a first test when I go for team formation. Because I feel like without understanding the person's emotions, you can't work with them so close and you can't focus on the deliverables. Because when you are very, very seriously working on the focused deliverables, you don't have even time to give any uh, any time to give for thinking otherwise on a person's behavior. Sometimes you have to understand the situation, and if you know the person better, you will understand why he has reacted like that, because empathy is what always helps us to uh, gel with each other, or go ahead and understand the other person's situation than why he has done like that. That is where in so many literatures I have gone through for emotional intelligence and emotional quotient, it is gets irritated. You know that even it is not only at the workplace, even at the home, you know that some person is getting irritated because of this kind of a trigger, then you avoid the trigger when you don't want that kind of a situation. Also, it is seen that in the workplace, people, when they are connected out of work, while they are doing a CSR activity, or of this is where companies also encourage outings in the organizations where people open up. So that's one of the reasons. So why is EI considered, as somebody with the name iPad has given this question, why EI is considered a weakness of a personality in the corporate world? No, EI is never a weakness. Person who is emotionally weak is considered as a weakness, not that he is his emotional intelligence is considered as a weakness. Who has a less EI is going to be considered as a weak person. It not only in the corporate world, anywhere people take advantage and have a ride on them. Admin, any measure EQ level. EQ level, yes, there is a survey which only gives you the number, like EI. IQ also 100% IQ, 120% IQ is given, but we don't know why it is giving EQ as 10% or 15%. So I never go with that measure of EQ level, but I go with these tests where I can know the personality of the person and give them some kind of helping tools like psychometric analysis, or some kind of exercises which help them to overcome their weaknesses. Okay. What else we have? Any more of EI than proposed by Daniel? I have given you disk analysis also. Srinivasan, why EQ level high for supervisor than CEO? As I said, CEO is directly not interacting with a lot of people on his daily activities. He is responsible for the company to be run, but when it comes to direct interaction, he always have his directs to whom he talks directly. Only in the open houses, or where he has to address the company, he will come and address. And most of them times it is only a one way, except for a 10-minute window where you have question and answers to be handled. But when it is a supervisor, it is his daily activity to interact with people and have that connect with them. He has to understand the emotions of the person. So I think that is where the graph is showing like that. Okay. Albert, any test surveys for measuring EQ? I think that is already answered. Vijay, mid senior level manager having more EQ than senior executive. Same answer. The way your daily activities make you interact with people more, the more EQ you have to have. How do we improve emotional intelligence? Vinod Garg. Emotional intelligence is nothing like a one day course or something. It has to be a practice. What I do for my teams, when I see that there are some weaknesses which they have to overcome, if at all a team is, a person says that he is not outgoing, or he's not speaking freely, what I will ask them to do is, the simple exercise I will do is like, I will ask them to conduct a retro or conduct a daily stand up, so that they facilitate the session and they come out of this fear of talking before people. I know that there is a scrum master who will do it every day. What happens because of these kind of exercises is, you know that you are in a safe environment within your team, and you know that you are talking to your own team. So people come out of that fear of speaking out. And slowly I will use these techniques like pair programming, which you do for your development and coding. So I do this kind of pair programming for improving their emotional intelligence as well. I call it as a buddy pairing. what I do is handhold this person for some time, involve them in some kind of talkative sessions where they have to express themselves. So what we do is not related to work, not related to anything, but we do kind of lean coffee sessions where any topic can be taken, not only agile, and people can share their experiences like book reading or anything like that. That way they come out of that kind of uh, weaknesses. The next question I have, why HR doesn't emphasize on EQ for promotions? This is a very, very bad thing which is happening. But the thing is, not all the roles were known to have this kind of EQ importance. Slowly, I see the trend coming up because of having agile teams and agile way of working. But I don't know when it will become really part of the HR, when they have to consider this EQ for promotions. Yeah, we are very long. We have a very long way to go there. Then, when is the question? I think how EI or EQ affects the projects. Projects are not affected, teams are affected. Because of the teams getting affected, projects are also getting affected. That would be the answer for that question. Because if you have one person with a less EQ, it affects the complete team's mood. I'll give you an example. If you have a boss who is lively and always having, cutting jokes when the meetings are happening and all, though the meeting is very serious and it is a very heavy meeting also, people won't feel that pressure once they are coming out and take it in a positive sense. But if you are person who is presenting the meeting itself is like, very moody and very, very sorrow and very hard to digest the facts, he's giving you all kinds of hardships to even understand and digest the information, you always feel heavy after you come out of those meetings. So one person in the room who has that authority or dominance, his mood actually sets the mood of the room, if you have observed this in your meetings. So that is how EI or EQ affects the projects. It's not usually the projects which are affected, it is a team which is affected, because of which there will be an impact on the deliverables. Then Neelima Prabhu, any online courses for improving EQ? Yes, there are a lot. Some of these assessments which I have given you, if you do this, then you can actually go through and improvise your EQ using any psychometric tool which you have. Even Strength Finder is one of the tool which you can use to understand what are your 5 top strengths. Then what is the other question? Do you have the link for EQ to share with the audience? I didn't get the question though. Link for EQ to share with the audience. It's just a Zohari window. You can type it and I will write it here in the chat. This is one. Disk analysis is one. Strength Finder is one. I have given some names which are actually like, names which you can find out and very, very easy to use them. I think Strength Finder comes with a cost, but all others have their own initial analysis which you can do. And if you want to deep dig into that, then you can have paid surveys which you can take. How EQ, Vijay Vishwakarma, how EQ related to someone's personal traits? Being introvert doesn't mean person EQ is less or vice versa. No, I never said that introvert doesn't mean that you don't have an EQ which is high or low. But I said it's a trait which has come out, and I was like surprised to see that I was understood as an extrovert person where I felt myself as an introvert. But yes, if you are an introvert, people cannot understand your reactions. That is where, people perceiving you as a different person may be a cause for being a less on your EQ. So yes, known to others may or may not be true. It is biased. That is where I said, when you are perceived as a person differently than what you are, then there is something where you are and show your true self. If you are really interested, that people have to understand you the right way. Okay. How to measure EQ for individual, any proven standard? So this is what I explained. I do this kind of analysis when the formation stage is happening, and again from normation, where you know the team has come to a kind of a maturity stage, and then you can again conduct the tests for them. Strength finders and MBITs and all also are helpful in this. Yes, there is a lot of research based on these methods. You can actually search it. How to make out EQ of candidate during recruitment interview. Dhawal, there are some quizzes which are kind of psychometric tests which can be given to a person, and it calculates their EQ. So you don't need to mention that it is for their EQ. You can just give them a psychometric test and they will answer that, and that is how you can understand whether he is a fit for your role or not. Because as a HR, if you know that this role requires high EQ, then you can decide upon what is the level of that. How does Samir Bhargava, how does one convince senior management to spend resources on developing EQ culture in the organization? When any organization is trying to transform, you can actually take them through this route and make them, give them some case studies like this has happened and this has how we have understood, and outcome of this survey is like this. Maybe they can get convinced and start thinking in a different way. For me, I have never approached this kind of a thing for senior management to spend their resources. Whatever are the free available resources like Johari window and all, we have taken them because that is a long route to go. But immediately, this is the thing which we can do for our small teams. How is the Johari window? Are the points discussed in front of everybody? Are any key secret to the entirety? So what I do usually when I do a Johari window is, it is very, very internal to your team. It is not to be shared with anybody. So what we do is, we just have our screen share when we do this of individual assessments to be shared with the team. Just for a fraction of a second, we share that this is how I have my traits, and this is how my team has given me my behaviors. And there I will see that there is some kind of overlap, or there is some kind of improvement for me to be for this kind of a role. And then it must not go out of your team, because people must not take advantage of your exposing your traits to them. That's what we do as a caution. Milind, what profile of person more suitable for agile or more successful in Johari window? See, when you have this agile teams to be formed, when you are expecting them to be high performers, what are the values agile teaches us? What are the things we require to be working in an agile team, like collaboration, focus, openness, trust, and respect, courage? You have to see all those kind of things. So many tests and analysis available. Many people fake what they actually are and present what they are. So that is where we do this kind of analysis, where we do it for forming stage once and at the norming stage once, so that we know the difference. I can't help if they are faking up what they are actually and what they present, but because of that kind of fear, most of the psychometric tests are like, the MBITs and strength finders, they have similar questions coming up every time. So that avoids them to, fake sometimes, not every time. So Naushad Rajani, how EIB used to manage customer relationship management? Customer relationship management is like, you can send out a periodic survey kind of a thing, where You can include some of the psychometric questions and get the answers from the bigger group of customers. If that is what I thought the question is. Is there a chance for the team members to manipulate responses to a PQ test? Swanand. That's what I said. Not all the tests are like manipulative. There are some psychometric tests like DISC analysis where repetitive kind of questions or similar kind of questions are asked, and sometimes you can't actually be faking yourself or manipulating responses. Introvert often has a more empathy. As for project manager, first need to start with self-awareness and self-management. First two quadrants of self and move to empathy and then influence. Eluguri. Yeah, maybe that is one of the thought process behind going for this. Manoj, if a team is new, how can they rate each other's EQ in survey as they don't know each other? So that's a very good question, Swanand. When you don't have knowledge of the person, that's where when the forming stage starts, we'll take this question after a week or so, these surveys, so that whatever the first glance of the other person you see and perceive, you will give as your survey result. In blog newsletter we can follow on weekly basis to continuously learn and follow here. There are lot on the web. Is there a possibility for team members to manipulate? Okay. There is a certification on EQ, Swanand. I have not done that, but yes, there are a lot of private certifications for EI and EQ. Like there is nothing like a course as though, but how do you improvise? There are courses on certifications on that. And MBIT is one of the surveys which people conduct, strength finders and MBITs. They have certifications to be trainers on that. And how do you use that assessments and improvise the things? So there are certifications on that. Manoj, I have come to the end of the questions. If you still have any questions, I think we have another 5 minutes we can take. Thank you guys. Thanks all for the beautiful, wonderful questions. Hope this session was useful. My email ID is cm@gmail.com. Anything you want, you can actually connect me on LinkedIn with Nagini Chandramouli. I'm always there. Click away. Sure, I can share this PPT with Manoj.
Thank you, Nagini. It was a very wonderful session. I'm sure everybody has got great insights. Yes, yeah, I will. Once you send me the presentation, those who want it, I can ask Sunil to share a copy of the same. We are sending feedback form at 1 o'clock, which Sunil will share out with the entire attendees today. All of you to please update to fill up the survey form. It's basically a feedback form. And once that is done, maybe by tomorrow, I will be sending you the PDU mailer. Nagini, this PDUs will fall under strategy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks for your time, Manoj and Priya. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.